There.
Sarah!
Hello.
Oh no!
Hello.
Pets! Yay! Oh well, now we're gonna go over again, aren't we?
Yay.
Because there's cats.
He literally just jumped up to say hello. He was sleeping, literally right until you said let's bring her in. So
Oh my god, amazing.
he's decided it's the turbo hour.
Oh, look, the way he's looking at you.
Okay, bye.
Amazing.
All right, he's done. He's had his moment.
I love this. The chat's going,
So
kitty,
many
kitty,
opinions.
kitty. Right.
Hello.
I will
Hello,
be reading.
lovely.
Hi, Sarah. Nice to meet you. Hope you're doing
Nice
well.
to meet you. I don't think we've ever actually spoken outside of emails and
Yeah,
random
just
DMs every now and again. Yeah.
yeah. So here I am. I exist. This is my face. There you are. There's your face. And you
I
exist.
exist too. Here's my face.
I don't. I'm not really here.
Not really.
All right, I do have an introduction for Sarah because I'm sure everybody knows who Sarah is, but I am going to do
Everyone's
this.
like, I have no idea who Sarah is.
Well, apart from Sarah, Sarah doesn't have a clue. Right, so S.H. Cooper is a Florida-based author of horror and fantasy. Her works include Bottling His Ghosts, Reap Sow, which is absolutely brilliant, Threads of Ash South, The Ungodly Duology, and Inheriting Her Ghosts. No Sleep podcast fans will know her for her fantastic stories, which include The Rosy Hour and Fran and Jock. I love that one. So let's say a big welcome to the lovely Sarah S.H. Cooper.
Thank you. Thank you so
for
much.
having me.
Reap Sow. Everybody buy Reap Sow. Sound effects amazing. I love it.
You would like.
This is so
I
good.
have a picture of my cat sitting next to my spinning display stand where your book is on top of it, and he's just staring at it. He
Your
wouldn't
cat
do
has
anything
good
with it.
taste.
He
As long as
does.
he wasn't trying to eat it.
No. He's fairly good about books. He's weird. He'll let me lay them all over him. I get to place his paws. Anyway, story for my time.
There's always time for cat stories.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Well, speaking of things that we love and things that we like, I guess starting out of the gate, can you tell us about any favorite horror books or books in general that you like?
I was so unprepared for this question. I have no idea. Oh, what's this? Here's one I read recently. It's called Black Rain. It's an anthology of fantastic Southeast Asian horror, female-centric, written by some very strong, fantastic voices.
Oh,
Highly
brilliant.
recommend.
I love it. I love the sound of that.
Day of the Door, Laurel Hightower, one of my absolute favorite
Oh, I
authors.
love Laura.
Yeah, she's a great person, good friend of mine. But I'd read her books even if she wasn't. I just got very lucky in that department. So yeah, Day of the Door, family horror, very good. And if you're looking for something a little gentler, a little sweeter, then Into the Gray. This is actually an old cover. It's since been republished, but I have the original. By Kathleen Palm. Is a middle grade horror story. Very, very wholesome. It's the first book in, I believe, a trilogy. The second one just came out this last year from Undertaker Books, I think. So, yeah, any of those three I would highly recommend. I read them recently, so they just happened to be sitting here. Thank goodness, I would have been so unprepared otherwise.
Well, it seems like you're quite a reader, fairly prolific.
I wish. I'm very, very slow these days.
Just-
I'm trying to get back into it. I happen to pick these up across two cons that I've been to, so I'm working my way through my book stack from those, and I'm on a book moratorium until I finish everything that I have so far.
I wish you luck. And all that. I don't want to mention my back shelf. Let's just say that I have stairs in my house, and I don't. Stairs are actually just bookshelves. They're there for
Why
your
not?
books to go.
Why
And
not?
stack. They
Yeah, I
do.
live in Florida. We don't have stairs, just single story.
It's It's weird. I don't know why. I'm the only person in my street that has a two-story house. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Fun questions. Um, so do you have any horror movies that you re watch or have liked in recent days?
Recently, unfortunately, actually, I can say Sinners. Sinners, loved
Ah,
it. Got the hype. Absolutely adored it. Um, but I can't really think of anything else that's come out fairly recently that I like. I find myself, especially lately, returning to old favorites. Um, a guilty, a guilty pleasure. It's going to be the Silent Hill movies.
I love those. Yeah,
I love the first one. I genuinely like.
yeah,
I
yeah.
just think it's a good movie. I enjoy it. The second one, I recognize all of the errors. I acknowledge them, and I tell you to shut up, eat popcorn. I'm watching a movie.
Yes.
Brain off, eyes on
High
screen.
five.
goodness.
And one other is Detention. It is a
Ooh,
um,
is it?
Taiwanese movie
Nope, not the
based
one
on a
I said.
game about the 1960s Taiwan and the White Terror, which was very kind of similar to a certain fascist regime we won't get into because this isn't a political event. But yeah, so it's a little bit historical horror, ghost horror, hauntings. Very, very good, and also very good game.
You said it was based on a game?
Yes, the game is also called Detention. It's a 2D point and click side scroller.
So, would
So
you say that you play video games?
yes. Yeah, yeah. I actually don't play that many horror video games. Most recently, I've been playing My Time at Sandrock, which is a cozy
Oh,
Valley type game.
yeah.
Um, but when I'm not doing that, I'm playing Helldivers a lot. um, so yeah, horror. I don't like the sensation of being chased, and it gets triggered even in games. So stuff like I don't know, The Evil Within or
Resident Evil, every single
Resident
one.
Evil. Yeah, I know the lore. I watch tons of lore videos. Um, so I know the lore of like all the major horror games, but I don't play them personally. I watch YouTubers deep dive into them. I will say the Dark Souls Soulsborne series is probably my favorite video games ever. As long as you have friends who can carry you through, and you just stand back and you make it fashion, and you just worry about what armor you're wearing and let everyone else worry about the monsters. My time
Um,
at Sandrock is way better than my time at Porsche, Eric. I couldn't get into Porsche, but Sandrock is much better in my opinion.
nice, nice. So, I guess leading on from there, I am a little bit curious about um, anything that you have experienced, any unusual event, something that you might call a paranormal activity. Have you ever had that happen to you?
I don't know if I'd call it paranormal activity. Um, and I've had stuff where I'll know who's calling before I've answered the phone. If something major has happened in my family, I had an uncle who passed away, and I knew when the phone started ringing that it was going to be news about a family member who had passed away. That's as close to, and I don't know if that's supernatural or just kind of like, your family dynamics, and you know that family doesn't call. I didn't know
Yeah.
it was a family member calling at the time, but who else is going to call? So, um, my mother, however, and my great grandmother both have stories of supernatural. The night before she died, my great grandmother told everyone in her nursing home that after years of saying God forgot her because her husband passed away long before she did. So she was telling everyone God forgot me. The night before she passed away, she got all dressed up and said, God didn't forget me. God didn't forget me. And she passed away in her sleep
Oh,
that
wow.
evening. And then my mother, when her mother passed away, my grandmother, she was working and someone pulled her aside, someone she didn't know, took my mother's hand, and said, "I will always be with you." It was a little woman, and walked away. This woman my mother had never met in her life. And then my mother got the phone call from her sister that their mother had passed away like 5 minutes later.
Wow.
So those are my supernatural. And then when I was a kid, this is again something that I didn't experience. My grandparents lived across the street from a famous supposed haunted house. And my dad, to this day, claims that they would hear the ghost of the sea captain who was said to haunt it walking around upstairs, um, playing the piano. They'd hear footsteps. And if you had children or you were a child, you were safe in the house. But if you did not have kids or you were an adult in the house, he would chase you out.
Wow.
So
I love this.
I
We could just talk about the spooky stuff.
thought that's why we were here.
I think it's interesting that your experiences, I'm not saying that there's any connection. I just, thinking it's interesting that you're talking about experiences that are very personal, close to home, family centered, and a lot of your books that you have written and stories that you write do tend to revolve around family and family relationships. Not all of them, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, Reap So definitely does, Bottling His Ghosts, and a couple others. So I found that a little bit interesting. Obviously, not making any kind of real connection there, just sort of pointing.
No, that's just because I'm very close to my family and I draw a lot of inspiration from relationships that I have. So, um, yeah, I just use them as fodder, basically. Yeah, no one is safe. I
Oh,
put everybody, so everyone that I'm close to eventually ends up in a story. Um, so
why not?
why not?
Why
And
not?
some of them are based on fact or things that have happened. Some are completely made up. I just use pieces of my life. Fran and Jock, for instance, my grandfathers were Fran and Jock.
Oh,
So that's a
Oh,
tribute to my grandfathers. I have a story called Ring Once, which was never on the podcast. It was just on the website about a girl who is at home in a storm and the phone keeps ringing once, and she's getting freaked out because she's a young girl. Um, and she finally goes and picks it up. No one's there. I think, I can't remember at this point, it was years ago. And finally, her parents come home, and it's revealed that when she was a girl, her mom used to, whenever she left her parents' house, she would bring once back at her parents' house, just to say, "I'm home, I'm safe." And no one picked up because back then you got charged for, phone calls. So just ring
mm,
once, let me know you're home safe. And so her parents come home from the hospital and reveal that her grandmother has just passed away. They had been at the hospital. And
oh,
so the phone is ringing once, ringing once. It's her grandmother's spirit saying, "I'm safe, I'm
oh,
home."
oh, I love that.
I love that. That's very nice.
Yeah. So yeah, a
Well,
lot of little things, and that's something my mother used to do with her mother. And now in the modern day, when I go home from somewhere that my parents know I'm at, I'm almost 40 years old. I still text them, ring, and that's my
Oh,
signal to them. I'm home, so they don't worry. Because my mother will still stay up all night worrying.
yeah.
Her kids are all almost 40 or past 40.
well, that was lovely. Touched my heart. So we discussed a little bit about your, kind of hobbies and a little bit touching on your writing. I kind of like to get now more into your writing origins and ask you if you can share with us about when and where you started sharing your stories publicly on, be it online or just with a larger audience.
I actually started 10 years ago in June,
Oh,
on No Sleep. I wrote my first story about a girl and her dog, um, in June of 2016. And that's kind of, it just took off from there. I've been writing for, as many writers do, my whole life. But I didn't start doing it publicly or really sharing it, until 10 years ago when my sister, I'd been in the slump for a long time. My sister goes, "Why don't you try writing horror?" We've always been big horror fans, but I'd never tried writing horror. Um, And I said, I don't know anything about writing horror. I like watching it, but or reading it. I don't know though. And she goes, well, there's this subreddit, so just go check it out and see, maybe you'll like it. And then I wrote like, I don't know. I feel like I wrote 100 stories in 100 days. After that, I was churning out stories for a while every day. It was wild. I don't know who that person was. I kind of wish I could find her again. I'm a little jealous of her output. But yeah, so I got started on No Sleep, the subreddit, and then I think it was my second or third story that No Sleep podcast picked up. And then they kept picking up stories, and finally I said, guys, don't ask, just use them, and I'll know it when the show comes out, and there's my name. We're good.
So, out of curiosity, would you then say your first accepted no sleep story is what you would consider your first big success, or is it something different?
um, I think success is such a personal thing. It getting on No Sleep podcast was definitely my first step into the world feeling like a professional writer. It was my first paid writing gig. Um, it was and it was a huge honor, and it still is. Every time I get on No Sleep is just such a fantastic feeling
Mm.
because they always do such a great job, great people to work with. Um, but I think in terms of success, I would probably consider bottling his ghosts to be my biggest personal inheriting and bottling would be my biggest successes to me personally.
Um, I think we have a few minutes if you would like to briefly kind of talk about what those stories are for maybe people who don't know.
Sure. Those two in particular, they are not a sequel. They're not a duology. They're not a pair. But they are. Bottling his ghosts is a spiritual successor to inheriting her ghosts. um, and they are Gothic Victorian stories, so set in an unnamed Victorian location. It's England, because as a Floridian who has been to the UK once, I feel very, very comfortable writing about something I know so well. Um, but Inheriting Her Ghost is about a woman who inherits a seaside remote manor from her deceased great aunt, and she doesn't like the city life anyway. So she packs up her dog. She's always been kind of a weirdo. She prefers her two Irish wolfhounds, Blackshuck and Cerberus, to people, and off they go to this manor that she soon finds out is haunted. There's a dark history over it having to do with her family. Um, and so that story is about unraveling that and just getting to know Eudora, who is my probably personal favorite character I've ever
I
written.
love Eudora. I love her.
Eudora Fellows is a bit of a self-insert in some ways, but also so much better than me in so many ways. Um, but I definitely love Eudora. And Bottling His Ghosts is about Netta Ward, who has just lost her husband and um, returns to her family home in the countryside, where she finds that her family is also in turmoil. Her cousin slash brother, who was adopted into her family, has fallen to alcoholism, and her family's at their wits' end. So uh, they end up going away on vacation to get her mother away so she can rest and relax, get rid of the vapors, all those things that Victorian women got to do. Um, and it's up to, and Netta decides she's going to try and fix her cousin, and realizes that a house that has never been haunted is now held captive by the supernatural. So she has to figure out, one, how to help her cousin, and two, where the hell these ghosts came from.
It's a very great book. I highly recommend both books. Bottling His Ghosts was my first book that I read by you. Oh, it just left me breathless. So, yes, highly
Hey.
encourage plugging those, pushing those.
Yeah, I say haunted a lot. Ghosts are my favorite, so that's why I made that one of my words. I was worried I wasn't going to say my words, and I actually did. Just in conversation, I was worried I was going to have to find a way to squeeze them in. So I chose really easy words that I had a
Yeah.
feeling I was going to say naturally, and I wouldn't have to worry about it.
By the way, for the chat, just so you know, if somebody has said their word and nobody has actually commented, you're still up for grabs to comment and get that prize. So just a little, nod to say that the word has been
I
said.
think we've had quite a few of them in.
I think everybody caught
I
all three of
think,
my words.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I was going to
All
say
right.
not just the one word.
Yeah, no, I think I accidentally said all three. Without even realizing it, I think it was lucky to know Laurel Hightower, which I stand by. And then I was like, oh, lucky was one of my words. I chose it because Lucky is the protagonist in Reap So. So I was
Yes.
like, oh, if I talk about that, clearly I'll say that word. And then I think I said wholesome. If I didn't, wholesome. And
Wholesome. Wholesome heart. I have heard that's a saying of yours.
wholesome horror. Yep, yep. That's my
Or is
that's
it
what do you call it?
wholesome horror
Brand.
or wholesome heart?
Wholesome horror.
Oh,
It's
I
horror
misheard
with a happy ending.
there. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. Okay. That one's
yeah.
even better.
I got that brand on No Sleep because I kept writing stories like Fran and Jock, which are, they start scary and then they end um, sweetly, I guess, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Or, although some people have called some stories wholesome horror, and I'm like, y'all okay? I mean, I get why to some extent, but at the
Yes.
same time, it's like ringing in my ear is a story about a father who essentially murders his daughter's someone who assaulted his daughter in a very violent manner. And through a series of events, the father gets the opportunity to murder the assaulter in a very subversive, in a very like quiet way that no one's going to immediately point fingers. And people are like, that's so wholesome. That's so sweet.
My goodness.
Wow.
Wow, someone remembers Lavinia Cartwright. Thank you so
Bless
much.
you.
I love Lavinia Cartwright. That is one of my personal favorite short stories because that was really my first kind of foray into the gothic side of things. But yeah, so people choose some. Some of us are weird when it comes to the wholesome.
So,
But no, most of the time, I think they're right.
yeah,
Most
yeah,
of the time.
no,
I
I
do tend
definitely
to
get
like
that.
I do tend to like horror with happy endings or horror with animals that don't die. I'm gonna
Those
spoil
are the best.
Inheriting Your Ghosts for y'all. Sorry, Cerberus and Black Shuck don't die. They're the bestest boys. Would
Excellent.
not kill them.
You can't. That's what makes them extra special when they come in as a savior. You know
Hmm.
that they're gonna help her in whatever way that they can, and they'll be
Yeah.
fine.
And I don't like where animals are just like thrust in as a spook factor or like, ooh, we're gonna torture this animal, we're gonna kill this animal for the shock factor of it, or as a plot point. It's like animals are not plot points.
Yeah,
They
no.
are
And
living, breathing
that,
creatures. And in my stories, they also tend to be very protective. Like I said, my first story was about a girl and her dog, and then Inheriting Her Ghost was about a girl and her dogs, essentially. I'm still doing the same thing. Wow, someone read The Knight's Daughter. You're my friend, Rose Trinzo. The Knight's Daughter was my attempt at YA fantasy that was supposed to be a trilogy, and my ma is still very upset that I have not continued it.
all right. Well, since we've touched on a lot of stuff relating to your stories, your style, wholesome horror, I actually would very much like to ask you what elements of horror do you like to use the most when you're writing your stories?
I like to use hauntings. Ghosts are a big trope. I don't know if ghosts are a trope or a monster type, but that's my favorite, hauntings. But I also like very people focused horror, things that are very grounded in human experience. I like things that you can relate to. Um, and I like things that I can relate to personally. I'm going to be honest, most of my books I write for me. If you like them too, that's great. I'm so glad people wanted to read about, a woman who wants to live alone in her manor with her dogs, because that is my goal. My husband can come; he is welcome. Um, but ultimately, um, yeah, I like to focus on things that are not necessarily scary in the most uh, over the top way or the most obvious way,
Mm.
but little things that needle at you, that you kind of make you look out of the corner of your eye and go, "Do I want to get in that bathtub tonight?" Um, or do I want to get close to that cliff edge tonight or today? Um,
If you can
but
give
yeah, just
somebody a phobia over an everyday object, it is absolute perfection, isn't
Yes.
exactly. I
You
had a
can do
story called Crinkle Bottom, which was about a little stuffed cow, and I had people going that they were afraid of their little stuffed cow, or I have a story that has a little stuffed monkey in it, and they were afraid of their little stuffed monkey. Crinkle Bottom love. Crinkle Bottom and the monkey in Silent Witness are based on two stuffed animals that sit on my dresser and have for years. Monk, the monkey I got when I was a little toddler, and now he's almost 40 years old with me. And uh, Crinkle Bottom's real name is Winkles the breakup cow because my sister got him for me after my first breakup. so so I take these cute, sweet little things that nice things people have done for me, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it scary.
Excellent.
I love it. I love it. Oh, goodness. I would kind of like to move on to Reap Sow and talk about that a little bit
Mhm.
more in depth before we try to wrap up here. So, can you share with us, in your own words, what Reap Sow is about?
Oh, see, this one is tough because I don't want to give anything away.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to try and not delve too deep into what it's actually about. And we're going to keep it very surface level. This Reap So is about a woman who is going through a strange place that's trying to make itself look like home. She recognizes some things, but there's a hallway of doors that don't open. Um, and she encounters these people in blue that don't have faces, and they're trying to keep her there. And so her goal is to get out, and she wants to get back to her family, and she wants to get back to the man that she's in love with. And over the course of the story, she does meet her family and the man that she's in love with, and it all unravels.
Oh, it
And
is
that is
so good.
essentially the
And
story.
I've
Is
read
really
this on Kindle a few times, but this, I got this for the event, and oh my God, it's beautiful. Look at the wallpaper.
This
yeah.
was
Oh
done
my
by
God.
A. A. Medina. Ugly by Proxy is his handle online. If you are, he did the cover as well. If
Yeah,
you are looking for covers,
it's
if you are looking
amazing.
for formatting, um, he did such a fantastic job. I cannot recommend him enough. He also does pre-made covers. So any authors out there looking for something that maybe is a little bit cheaper than a custom cover, he has some really cool stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
So A. A. Medina, Ugly by Proxy online. Check him out. Can't recommend him enough.
yeah.
And very reasonable price, even for custom covers and for the interior design. Because usually I do my own books, but honestly, I'm really tired of fiddling with page margins and trying to figure out uh, how to get everything looking pretty. So I just said, you can do it.
Oh God, getting the covers to fit on KDP was the worst part of the whole
Pain in the
process.
butt.
Oh
My
my
wife
Mm-hmm.
has
God.
secondhand PTSD from KDP. I wasn't even the one publishing the book.
I've done
I was
all my
not
self
talking.
published books. I've done except Reap So. Like I said, I've been doing this almost 10 years now, and at this point, I'm just like, hello, do you want to come up? Hold on. We have a visitor.
Yay.
This is
Oh,
Reginald.
oh, Reginald. Oh, how handsome.
Reginald. He's a
Oh,
good boy. All right, he's shut.
Good, good boy.
Oh, there you go. Oh, you
There you
want to
go.
come too? All right, last one. Oh, and this is Evie.
oh,
She is a terror. Evie is short for eviscerator. She's trying to kill me. Yes. But yeah, so Reap So, I really love that story.
it's amazing.
Um, and I'm very proud of that one because it was on the. It didn't make it to the actual nomination, but it was on the preliminary ballot for the Stokers, and it is a finalist in the Sphinx Award, the speculative fiction indie novella awards.
That's amazing. Well
It's a
done.
very long title. It's just called Sphinx. Um,
Brilliant. Congratulations on that. That's a, hell of a
Thank
feat.
you. But
That is
yeah, so I
great.
was very proud of that. But I think after Reap So, which was and Bottlenose Ghost, which both came out last year. Like I said, I've been writing 10 years. Published my first book in December, which was Corpse Garden. Published that in December of 2016. So I think for the 10-year anniversary, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but my goal is to publish my fourth short story collection on the same day that Corpse Garden came out back in 2016. So if I can keep
Ah,
on schedule, hopefully I'll be able to do a full circle kind of moment 10 years later, still
wonderful.
doing the same thing.
Oh, fantastic. I love that.
How are we doing on time?
Oh, we're
I'm,
over.
I thought
Well,
I
if
just
we're over, then
need
I will dip. I will get out of here. I will take my dogs and go.
Oh, I could talk to everyone all night is the problem.
um I'm trying to think of anything I want to ask you besides the really detailed questions I typed up that Lysel knows about. Because they're all like about the story. Do, 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 do. That one doesn't make sense.
Read it. I want to read it. I want to
That
know what
one.
it is.
That one.
That one. That's the question.
Well, the answer is yes, but how intentional were you when conveying the idea that the place the main character of Reapso finds herself in at the beginning of the novel is unchanging?
How intentional was I?
And overall, how places in Reapso do play an important factor.
Yes. So how intentional was I with keeping things unchanging?
The story opens up with lines of, evergreen floors and knotted wood.
Evergreen and knotted woods and doors and doors and doors.
So,
Halls of
you know,
doors and doors and doors. Yep.
every time I hear the word evergreen, can think of at least 20 no sleep stories where that just means like something eternal trapped. So
Well,
I
there
don't
there is a reason I chose evergreen, but
know.
I can't say what that reason
Okay.
is because it is a plot point.
Oh wait,
Um,
oh wait, I think I know. It's uh,
Yeah.
orchid.
Spoilers.
She's in the orchid.
Spoilers.
you
Spoilers,
Oh, no.
people.
can
Okay.
message me
I
or
won't ask.
text me, and
Won't ask.
I'll let you know if it's correct. But there is
But
a
yeah,
reason that I chose those evergreen and knotted wood, um, and halls of doors and doors and doors. That is very intentional. Now, for scenes where it's trying to make itself look like her home, um, those were less intentional, more just um, what would a house in the 1950s look like? And that was one of those things. When I research historical horror, I tend to go down rabbit holes. So for Reef, so I remember getting bogged down in what is the wallpaper. So I'm like on websites reading about what wallpaper people used, what colors were popular, what
that's true.
styles, like in Bottling His Ghost, what was plumbing like? Victorian plumbing. What's going on with that? It's just you find yourself
This
in
is
a
so
know,
familiar.
right?
Oh
I think
God,
it's something we
Sarah.
all do,
You could get stuck for days on things like this.
right? And it's like, why aren't you getting writing more? Because I need to make sure that this valve I mentioned once on page 63 and never comes up again and will have no bearing could actually be there in 1890s.
Because someone will notice.
Yes, someone will notice and they will call me
They
out,
will totally call you out.
and I will not be called out. Although I won't say what book this is in because I don't want anyone to look for it. Right? I was rereading something the other day to remind myself of something, and I knew to search for a keyword and it was close to a character's name. So I'm searching for this keyword. I'm like, why isn't it coming up close to this character's name? And then I realized I had misspelled this character's name 2 points in the story. Every other time it's correct. It's, you know, a name I made up. But in those 2 points, and no one has called me on it yet. And if anybody does, no, you're wrong. I'm the author. It just happens to be
It's
spelled in different
intentional.
ways.
It is intentional.
Yeah, it's deep
an
and
intentional
intentional,
flaw
and there's layers of meaning that you could never comprehend. All right, I don't want to go over anymore. I know that your next author is waiting. So
I
on
guess
that note, that I'm right and all my readers are wrong, forever and always. Don't question me. I will bow out so that you can get the next person in.
all right. Thank
Okay.
you
Oh,
so much for your
Thank you so much for
time.
having me.
This was
On
a
that
wonderful
note.
time.
thank you.
Okay, I'd like
Thank
to
you
ask
for
you 50
coming.
more questions, but this was all delightful.
Thank you, Sarah. Bye. Love you, Sarah. Bye.